a long and dusty trail from my hometown in Kansas.
Good morning. Welcome out to Dynamic Arts. I am Greg. You are wonderful, and it's never too early. I hope everyone's having a great day. I know I haven't done a video in a while. There's a reason. We might even talk about it later, depending on how this all goes. But today, I'm doing a recap of 2024. Now, 2024 has been a wild year, and it also holds some big significance for me and the studio. There's some milestones here. 10 years ago, I had just graduated from music production school. I had a degree, and I had no idea what I was going to do with it, but I was poor as dirt. I was looking for change in the couch cushions to buy a Pepsi, poor as dirt. I mean, I had recording clients here and there. I would record people in my living room, in my breakfast nook, where I had my control room set up. But most of those projects and clients had all dried up for the winter. I had been selling guitars so that I could buy my kids Christmas presents. And about a week before Christmas, I saw this little music shop on Main Street. Now, I had seen it open previously, and I tried to stop by to say hello and see if I could get a contract guitar instructor gig there. But I thought I'd try again. I dropped off my information. Even had a neat little resume to drop off with it. The lady at the desk took it, smiled, and I left, and I was kind of excited. I was very hopeful, because I'd done this before. I mean, all the way back years ago. I had worked as a contract guitar teacher for a lot of the music shops that would come to town. You know, you'd get a music store in town, and they'd be open for a little while, and then they'd close. But for the whole time that they were here, I was one of the guitar guys there teaching. That was just kind of my thing. So it was like, new music shop. I got an in. They had me come out for an audition. I believe it was on the 23rd. And I had carpal tunnel in my left hand, in my fretting hand. The only thing I could feel was my pinky. They had teleconferenced in people from the Northwest, people in Tacoma. These people were a big deal. They were brilliant musicians. So it was very important that I did not suck. But it was hard to not suck when I've got to watch my fingers to make sure that they're pushing down on the right strings. And got kind of a, well, we'll let you know sort of thing as I left this audition, which happened in the Methodist church. And I was like, oh, I don't feel good about what I did, but I couldn't do any better. Like, physically, I could not do any better. So I'm starting to try to think of some other plan Bs. But I never have a plan B. So on Christmas Eve, they sent me a message. They said, we love you. You're hired. Your first thing that you'll do for us is you're going to play at our Christmas show on the 27th and the 28th. 3 days away. And I said, okay. Man, were they good. They were literally sight reading this stuff. So was I. Thankfully, I wasn't so rusty that I couldn't do that. Brilliant musicians. Absolutely brilliant musicians. It was exciting to do that sort of work. I've only encountered that caliber of classical musicians once before. And it was in passing. So I got to be with them, breathing their own air. The rest is sort of history. As I worked at Sagelands Music, they gave me the tools and the ability and the knowledge that I needed to create a successful business. In fact, later that year, in 2015, that summer they left the business to me, which eventually transmuted into what you see before you now. And for me, that was huge. It was the biggest boost I ever could have gotten. I will be eternally grateful to those people. some of them are no longer with us. Because they allowed me to do what I'm doing now. Because, again, at the time, things were a little dismal. My hard rock band that was scary successful and playing uproar festivals and doing all that kind of stuff and opening for national touring acts almost on the weekly and selling records and was being looked at by record labels for the second time, folded up again. I didn't have it in me to just keep it going and keep this revolving door of musicians. It was hard to pack that one in. There was something good there. So the studio helped me have focus, have something. And here we are. Monster energy to y'all. Which brings us now to 2024. At the beginning of the year, I was excited because I was recording and creating, mixing, getting ready to release Problem 5's record, which was my magnum opus. The best record I'd ever recorded. Ever. Fantastic band. Love my crew. And as fate would have it, that didn't happen. Inexplicably, almost every single member of my crew had some sort of major challenges this year. And my heart goes out to every single one of them. I love you all. But it was rough, and it's been a hard year. So Problem 5 is currently awaiting launch. I have no doubt that it will get there, but it will be a different time frame than I had previously anticipated. Now the next piece of this is I had studio clients. Like, I've not had studio clients in a long time. I was turning down business this year. Literally. Because I was so busy. There's still stuff in the can that I got to get through and get to work on. We recorded Robert James, recorded 2 or 3 songs for him this year. Super, super fun stuff. Did some stuff for another gentleman who shall remain nameless. Which was a weird thing. Can I book some studio time? And I said, no. And he said, well, it'll be really easy. Do you have some time? I said, no. And he said, it'll be this much a day. And I said, you've got 2 days. Oh my. Yeah, that's fun. That's another story for another day. And then, the biggest piece. Buckshot Crazy. They came in, started working on their very first commercial record. And by the time they were done, I was one of them. They'd adopted me. And I don't know how many gallons, and I mean that for real, gallons, let's say it again, gallons of Admiral Nelson's rum has been consumed here this summer. But my God, oh my goodness, JR, much love. We're the original gangsters, you and me, for real. I have not felt this good about a project since I was 21, 22 years old. It is so much fun. The music is so smart. It's challenging. It gives me I've got to be on my toes, which usually I'm just sort of reading by braille, yawning, and just doing what I'm doing when I'm doing sit-in gigs and things like that. But this stuff, Buckshot Crazy, I gotta think, and I gotta be there. All of me's gotta be there. My whole mind has to be engaged. And it's awesome. Got to start recording a song with Jason Burke this year. Haven't finished it yet. Of course, because we're ridiculously busy. Recorded an audiobook with my dear friend Dane Mullen for his father. His father had written a book and he'd gotten the gig to actually narrate it. Super cool. It's called The Elk Hunt. Check it out. The Elk Hunt by Roy Mullen. Super fun. All the audio work was done in here, in-house. What a cool story. What a gigantic project. I had never even imagined what went into a project like that, but oof, it's going to be a hot minute before I do one of those again, because it consumed my life. Consumed my life. I was in here more than I'd like to admit, sitting, editing. Kudos to all the audio editors out there that do audiobooks. That stuff is wild. I have never done it before. I knew how from school 10 years ago. But, oh man. Yeah, that thing, I still got PTSD. Kidding. Actually, no, I'm not kidding. I don't think I'll do another one for a while. But I love you, Dane. Absolutely love you. Coming here to December, I'm now a member of Buckshot Crazy. Got some gigs with Pistol Creek here, starting out at the very beginning of the year. Back in the Roadhouse with some pretty auspicious artists. With Buckshot Crazy, gonna probably do the same things in there, which will be exciting. Got some gigs booked with Buckshot Crazy. I've been gigging more this year than I have in the previous 10. And I love it. It was my wish. It was one of those things. You're like, I really wish I need to gig. I need to be out there. I need to be doing something. And I am. And I'm grateful to the Buckshot Crazy Boys too. I love you guys. I appreciate all of you. To the Problem 5 guys. Connor, Dane, Aaron, Chad. I love every single one of you. Oh, yeah. Got another thing going with J-Rock and Kelly and Chad as well. Super cool stuff. We're basically just kind of putting a group together called Summer School Dropouts. And it's basically just covering all of our own material. If somebody in the band wrote it, then it's free game. And we just play it. And haven't got anything set up for any gigs or recording or anything like that yet. I'm kind of burnt out on recording, to be real. But this is a super cathartic good thing. And I'm kind of excited to see what might happen with it. As far as everything else, I'm sure I've missed things. As far as family stuff goes, life is good. Everything's happy, copacetic. Again, 2025 means a lot. Coming into this year, I hope for some of us, this year is a damn sight better than the last. And that I'm thankful for every single one of you and everything that came before. Thank you to Sagelands Music for making Dynamic Arts possible. Thank you, all of you. And remember, I'm not rich. I'm not famous. I don't know everything. But it's been a hell of a ride. We'll catch you out there. We'll see you from the stage.
Now money don't mean much to me. I never have no extra, just enough to keep the wolves back from my door.